Good morning. It's June 15th. It's Monday morning. I hope your morning's going well. Our one-year reading is what we're going to be discussing out of 1 Kings. And this thought started several days ago in our reading. And I know it probably starts from the beginning of time and goes all the way to the book of Revelation. But it's just really been hitting me the last several days, just these portion of scriptures that I want to discuss. And so it started a couple of days ago in 1 Kings 11, and it had been talking about Solomon, David's son, King David's son, and that he was the wisest man. He had asked for wisdom, the Lord granted him wisdom, and he gave him all these things on top of it. But I just wanted to read these couple of portions of scripture. And in 1 Kings 11, verse 4, it says, "For it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father." And in verse 6 it says, "And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord, as did David his father." And then in today's portion of scripture in 1 Kings, let's read that just a second. And let's see. 1 Kings 15:23 is talking about King Asa. "The rest of all the acts of Asa and all his might and all that he did and the cities which he built, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? Nevertheless, in the time of his old age, he was diseased in his feet." You know, just picking up on, maybe because I'm getting older, really picking up on this wording, old age. And really thinking about what the Lord is saying. David walked fully with the Lord. That literally means he went to the end with the Lord. He started out, he kept walking. He had a time where he rested for a little while, and that's when things happened with Bathsheba. But then he got right back on the path and began to continue walking with the Lord. And he walked fully with the Lord. He completed his life walking with the Lord. Solomon started out great. His whole life he was living for the Lord, doing these mighty acts for the Lord, following the Lord in all his ways. And then in his old age, he let things turn his heart away from the Lord. He didn't follow the Lord fully, all the way to the end of his life. And then we have with King Asa today. He did all these mighty acts and these great things, but it says in his old age, his feet were diseased. His feet were afflicted. He turned differently. He began to walk a different way. In Chronicles, it talks about the end of Asa also, and it says he didn't inquire the Lord about his feet, which means that he wasn't walking with the Lord at the end of his life. In his old age, he didn't continue to walk with the Lord. You know, and it just really touches my heart to think that we have great men and women of the Lord who start out great journeys, who walk great distances to go for the Lord. They're after the Lord with all of their heart. In their young age, they're just going strong for the Lord. Their middle age, they're still going strong for the Lord. But it seems like when they reach old age, that their feet stop and they begin to walk a different direction. Their heart is not fully after the Lord. It's like, okay, we've done our part. We can sit back in our rocker and just relax and watch the world go by. We've finished. We've done it all. Now we'll let somebody else take over. And to me, that's not what the Lord's asking of us. He's saying, will you walk fully with me? Will you go all the way to the end? Like Paul said, I've finished the race. Like I've finished the course. I've done it all. I've completed everything that the Lord has asked me to do. I didn't stop because I was tired or that I wanted to quit. I kept going the full distance. And there's nothing wrong with rest. Believe me, there's nothing wrong with rest. The Lord even sanctioned a day of rest every week because he knew we needed rest. But he's saying, I want you to go the distance. I want you to go the full distance with me. I don't want you to retire in old age from me. I want your journey to stay after me. I want your heart to go fully after me the whole way until the very end, until we die. And so I feel like what the Lord's saying to me and what he may be saying to many of us are you willing in your old age to keep going? to not give up, but to go the distance, to persevere, to endure all the way to the end. He's given us his eternal spirit. His eternal spirit is within us, which means we can walk fully, eternally on this worldly walk with the Lord. That we don't have to quit. We don't have to sit back in our rocker and retire and say, okay, let the next generation take over. But we can follow fully what the Lord has us to do. And it made me think of a verse in Psalms by King David. And I see why the Lord said he's a man after God's own heart, because he went fully for the Lord. In Psalm 71:18, it says, now also when I'm old and gray-headed, I just love that this is David speaking. When I'm old and gray-headed, O God, forsake me not, until I have showed thy strength unto this generation, and thy power to everyone that is to come. Man, may that be our heart's cry. May that be what we want to do. Until we die, we want to walk fully with the Lord, showing the next generation who God is, how great God is, that we don't stop. He's worth the rest of our life until the end of our life. Guys, let's get up. Let's get up and get moving towards the Lord. Let's get discipling people. Let's teach the younger generation what the Lord has instilled in us. And let's show them by example that it's never time to quit. It's never time to give up, but to continue on for the Lord. Love you guys. Have a great day.